Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's Kathy Cat, and right now we are gonna answer your Q&A questions about Tokyo. So if you're curious about anything Tokyo, I might be answering this in this video. So let's go! Are there any differences in Tokyo and the rest of Japan on people's behavior and personalities? Not sure if this is a rumor, but people sometimes call the Tokyo people a little bit colder because there are loads and loads of people living here at the same time in Tokyo, meaning you bump into a lot of people, you walk past a lot of people, and you know, you kind of build up a little bit of a defense for that one. So what we find generally if we go to the countryside, people are very, very open, very, very friendly. And in Tokyo, we get turned down a little bit more for interviews, I'd say, than maybe on the countryside. But I guess that's just because they're used to be so, like, always constantly surrounded by other people. So, you know, you adapt a little bit to that. Doesn't mean that Tokyo people are not friendly. People in Tokyo are very friendly too. But they're just, like, a little bit more used to it, to the hustle and bustle of the big city. What is the traffic like in Tokyo? Besides convenience, would there be any benefits to owning a car in Tokyo? No! Owning a car in Tokyo is a very bad idea. The public transport here is very, very good. Owning a car in Tokyo actually might be negative because the tax is high. You actually have to always show that you have a parking space for your car, which is also very expensive. So sometimes the price of actually renting one of those parking slots is almost as high as renting an apartment. Place is very rare in Tokyo, and therefore owning a car actually is not such a good idea. I don't know any of the Tokyoites who actually owns a car. All the people that own cars that I know in Japan live on the countryside, so I wouldn't recommend you getting a car in Tokyo. Everyone knows the big attractions like the Skytree and stuff, but what are the less well-known sites that are worth visiting? Now really, the great thing here in Tokyo is that you can become your very own explorer. You can pick out a certain area and just walk around, look up on the map, see if there's like maybe a little shrine in the corner, maybe there's a new shop that opened, maybe they actually display some art for free. Literally every corner of Tokyo is full with culture, with little attractions and things to see. So you can really become your own adventurer and find out about these things. Many places I just found by literally just walking past, taking a different route home, and that one is actually one of the most exciting things in Tokyo, in my opinion. Is it very loud in Tokyo? Well, on the main streets it is. You can hear a little bit of construction sound all around, but sometimes when you go into the little side streets of Tokyo, surprisingly, it can get actually very quiet and nice. So it really depends on the area where we're going to. Second thing is, are streets crowded? Yes, they are, apart from the side streets where we are right now. Traffic jams very frequent. Yes, I would not recommend getting a car, like I said earlier. How much money does a Tokyo vacation usually cost? Maybe ask some American tourists that. Well, we actually have done that, and we've actually made videos about it. So type in Ask Japanese and how much, and you'll see it not only for America, but also for Australia, Europe, and other parts. So there's a video about that. Be sure to check them out. Do Japanese people find gingers nice, or weird, or something else? Well, my current hair color, I think, is a kind of ginger tone, and actually many Japanese people call it blonde. So I think there is not a ginger stigma that you'd have maybe in other countries of the world. So, for example, gingers have no soul and stuff. That doesn't exist in Japan here. I'm pretty happy. I like my hair color. Off we go. Has the city always been so safe? I highly doubt that, because I think no city in the world was ever safe if we go back in history. We were all kind of like pretty cruel to each other. But what do you think was the coolest, most fun era Tokyo has ever experienced? And I'd say that's probably the time during the bubble economy, because in Japan many people had a lot of money and they were splashing out, they were going on grand holidays. It was an amazing time, what I hear, and sometimes when we go shooting we actually find the remains of the bubble economy, like closed hotels and stuff like that. That must have been a season or a time that's very fun. Right now on YouTube, it is actually very popular to relive the bubble things, and there are bubble economy type dancers and stuff like that that relive those times. But there's a time that you and we've never experienced, and unfortunately we won't be able to travel back in time to see. Is it easy to make friends in Tokyo? Well, that totally depends on what kind of friends are we talking about. Ideally, if you have a hobby or a certain passion, find people or groups that like the same thing like you do. For example, it might be anime, it might be fashion, it might be dancing, whatever. Join a group and a community, and then it's usually a lot easier to find friends that join your same passions. What's living in Tokyo like? Well, expensive. It's actually one of the most expensive places to live in because the rent is incredibly high. But again, there are loads and loads of cheap restaurants to balance some things out a little bit, but the rent, Oh my gosh, so expensive. But apart from that, Tokyo is a full roller coaster of emotions. Every part of the city is always action. There's always action happening. There's always something going on. So you never get bored in Tokyo, and I think that's what I really like about the city. How about Sapporo? When are you visiting there? That's not a question about Tokyo. Next. Are there any secret place you guys visited and didn't even know it was there? There's so many in Tokyo. For example, one of them, we went to a curry place that has a secret menu. And part of that secret menu, you can have a cream puff that is like huge, the size of a cake. So that's another secret surprise that we found out. We actually made a video about that. So be sure to check that out in our Japanese travel videos. What are some must-see places in Tokyo for Western tourists? Not sure what has to be Western tourists, but the general areas people love to go to. Asakusa for the traditions, Harajuku for the kawaii culture, Shibuya for lots of fashionable shopping, Akihabara for all the anime and manga stuff, Ueno for the zoo, the culture, and also the museums, and such and such and such. I could go on. Every part of Tokyo has something exciting to see, so be sure to find something that you're interested in, look it up, and check it out. If someone decided to live in Tokyo, what must you know first when you are there, like an apartment finding job, etc.? Well, first of all, I'd actually visit the city as a guest and see if the city is actually something for you and if you actually like to live here. Then if you want to actually live here, you need to see how you're actually going to make that happen. What kind of job? Or are you going to be studying? Are you going to be a student? So that's actually the first thing you need to find out is how you're actually going to get the means of living here before you get yourself an apartment. Before all of that, firstly find out how you're going to get here and how you're going to get a visa. That's the very first thing you need to look at. What are the best places to visit in Tokyo? Personally, I love Harajuku. It's one of the places I love going to the most. Apart from that, it really depends on your interest. For example, we went to a Japanese ear spa and that was quite exciting and new, so there's always something to find. So these were some of the questions that you guys had about Tokyo, but there are more. And I'm gonna answer more of your questions in a future video about Tokyo. So don't forget to be subscribed so you don't miss it. And I'll catch you soon for more stuff on Ask Japanese. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.